Stag's Leap is a collection of poems written by Sharon Olds, published in 2012. This book won the TS Eliot Prize in 2012 and the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 2013, adding on to her list of many other awards for her work. The British Poet Laureate at the time, Caroline Duffy, claimed the collection was a tremendous book of grace and gallantry, which crowns the career of a world-class poet. The 49 poems included are split up into 6 sections. The first section covering a year of her life, the following 4 sections divided into the seasons detailing the years following, and the final section covering her reflections many years later. Olds began writing these poems after her divorce in 1997, her work documenting her experiences that led up to the end of her 30-year-long marriage, examining the year before the divorce and the years after. The title itself, Stag's Leap, refers to the Californian Stag's Leap winery, which was the couple's favorite wine. This encapsulates the nature of the collection, reminiscing upon their shared bonds as she does throughout the collection, often painting her ex-husband in a more generous light, but also alludes to her inner conflict towards the situation, as a stag leaping can invoke imagery of one leaping away from danger, or over a gorge, or off a cliff, or into traffic, but to her, she sees it as her husband leaping out of their marriage. This personal account by Sharon Olds explores her lingering burning love for her husband, and all the complicated agonizing emotions that follow her discovery that her marriage is over. Like a stag caught in headlights, she doesn't know what to do, and so the grief hits her. What can you do when the unexpected, unimaginable, unspeakable appears before you? Olds refers to her marriage as if it were a body, sometimes described as a room, furthering the idea that the breaking of their union is like inflicting physical pain upon a person, or like tearing a home apart. But Olds never lashes out in her poems, as one may do in such a situation. Instead, she writes with outward kindness, keeping her pain to herself. There are brief references to another woman, but instead of framing this other woman as a parasite killing the body, or a bulldozer acting as a literal homewrecker, Olds only goes as far as to refer to her as a child, instead placing the blame of this affair more towards her husband, who lied to her about it. Sharon Olds is brave in her confessional documenting of the year preceding the divorce, sharing her innermost thoughts and feelings as she coexists with the man she loves, knowing he's leaving her and yet unintentionally tormenting her by remaining in her life. As she fades from her husband's sight, she sees all and can't help but notice as the love of her life slowly moves on from her, right in front of her, until the divorce is finalized. Throughout the book, Olds reflects upon her journey and attempts to understand it all better. At one point she even considers whether her nature as a poet may have contributed to the divorce. She seems to be tearing herself apart, picking away at all the things she may have done wrong to bring her where she is now, her anxieties taking over. But by the end of the collection, Olds comes to terms with her divorce, believing it is better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. But she still doesn't settle. In What Left, the final poem of the collection, she doesn't consider herself stopped or even slowed down, instead recontextualizing the marriage, divorce, and the years thereafter to be a kind of constant moving in her life. Two souls coming together in dance and then parting ways, an ongoing song where he and she are merely singers, harmonizing in duet before finding their own rhythms on their own. Stag's Leap was written by Sharon Olds after she promised her children that she would wait 15 years before publishing any work surrounding this subject. She fulfilled this promise, with Stag's Leap being published exactly 15 years after the marriage had ended. Olds did this because she believed her children would need some time to adjust after the divorce. She didn't want to put a spotlight on her young children for the world to see. However, she confessed that this did restrain her creativity. This raises an interesting question. When it comes to confessional writing, should one prioritize respect or accuracy, empathy or reality, honesty or morality? What do you think? Confess your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.